Marc Gasol, Brook Lopez this year.
I don't think anybody comes close to winning free agency the way that the Brooklyn Nets did. Nice speed inside. Allen and one. Counted off the great dime drop from Kurucs on the baseline.
When this kid came to Texas as one of the top players in the country, the concern about him was, would he play hard? He was almost thought of as one of those computer nerd video. Matt Costello so far. Young guy that's played overseas mainly. 4 games with the San Antonio Spurs.
He was mentioned as one of the pleasant surprises of the dimes down the floor. A whistle, and that's going to be an offensive foul against Kurucs. Read a great story about Rodions Kurucs, and remember, he started a bunch of games for the Brooklyn Nets this year when they had a rash of injuries at the 3 and even the 4. He left home in Latvia, Fran, at the age of 13 to go play for Riga, one of the top teams. You know better than anybody out there in that country's league. And it was a tough move for him, but he really adjusted after being homesick initially and turned into a really good player.
You know what he did, Mark? After leaving home, he went to Barcelona, one of the top clubs in Europe, and they never let him play. He never got off the bench, and so he was a second-round pick with first-round talent. And last year,
they called.
But I will say this. I don't know what you said. I have no idea.
I studied French for 8 years.
I will say this. The French Pro A League.
Right.
You think of Rudy Gobert, obviously Diaw and Tony Parker, right?
Right.
French Pro A. I think we could have convinced them. I think it's a great rule for the NBA.
Boya got stripped, and at the buzzer, that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Your player development blueprint is magnificent, and it is bearing fruit in the form of Pascal Siakam up in Toronto, who is the most improved player this year. Fred VanVleet, who made huge shots for the Raptors. Josh Gray back the other way.
Jonesy, that's a great question. Fran, I want to ask you about that too. Like, why is it that stuff gets held against guys, right? And we don't see it just in the NBA. We see it in all professional sports where if a guy is quote unquote too smart, right? Or, he doesn't need the game, right? Like, why is that an issue?
Because when you're going to give this guy a lot of money, you want to hope there's a love of the game, and I think that in the case of NBA teams, does love to play. He's so quiet, George, that he didn't really show it.
A great answer. Kurucs with the extra pass, baseline jumper by Hill, side pocket, good.
My Knick fan friends, who I've grown up with all these years, we're disconsolate, man.
Yeah, it was really a shock to see them.
Hayes, the terrific young big guy from the Pelicans. You know why?
What's that?
His dad, Jonathan Hayes, was an NFL tight end for 12 years, Cincinnati Bengals tight end coach. What did they do after practice every day when Jack?
Great find to the corner. Boya off the mark. Kurucs. Nice finish by him. You know, he actually started and played some valuable minutes for K.
How about the playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs, 5-game series. He was averaging 22 points a game.
Boy, Jordan Bone confident, misfiring though that time, and
he's scoring at
sound like
come on now. He's scoring at a high rate in the painted area.
Nobody does a better Hubie Brown impersonation.
Come on, you love this kid, okay?
Back in 2016, got a lot of bounce in his game.
Yeah, he's still a young team.
Good defense inside by Brima. Extra pass, Thomas from the corner, and he missed everything.
Oh, I love the way Kurucs handles the ball.
Left hand off glass, confident.
Yeah, good in the open court, rip and run, active. Watch out.
Kyrie Thomas down the paint. End of game etiquette is one of the most examined things.
Listen, I'm an etiquette guy. It's okay. Don't get a turnover. Shoot it.
Hey man, I always say if you're a daydream